Hello YouTube, I hope you're having a wonderful day that's filled with flowers. Today we're making a bucket hat. I started by measuring the circumference of my head and using math to then draw a circle. For the sides of the hat, I made technically it's the same piece. So I made a pattern piece that fits trapezoid, and I varied the top side of the trapezoid to be a little bit smaller than the bottom side. So if you multiply the top length of your trapezoid by 2, that should be the circumference of your head. And for the brim of the hat, I used a circle skirt chart to know what the measurements of my brim should be. Both the brim and the sides of the hat I had 3 inches tall, so the brim was 3 inches out from my head. The fabric that I used was a 100% cotton fabric that I got at Joann's. The fabric is kind of a quilting fabric, if that helps you understand the weight of the fabric. You want a heavier, stiffer fabric. If you're using a really light, thin fabric, then you're going to want to use interfacing on the brim. I started by attaching the 2 side pieces together so it made a loop, and then attaching that to the top piece, the circle piece. And it really helps if you take the long end of the side pieces and fold it into the center of your top piece so that the right sides are both facing each other, and then you sew along the outside of the circle. After I had both top pieces sewn together, I put one inside the other with right sides facing out and sewed that together so that I could then attach the brim pieces. This is not what I would recommend. It was harder than it needed to be. What I would recommend doing, which is different than what I did because we're all learning here, is proceeding to attach the brim pieces to each hat part separate and basically sewing 2 hats and then putting them together, and sewing the brim by folding the outer edge of the brim in on both sides, because you have to sew lots of circles around the brim to really make it a lot more rigid so that it becomes a brim, sturdy, and doesn't stand up as well. Even though I took a slightly more difficult route in the construction of this bucket hat, I think it turned out great, and the hat is just so cute, and I love the fabric that I chose. I hope you enjoy this final product and this tutorial. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below, and make sure to like this video if you enjoyed crafting with me today, and considering subscribing if you want to see more. I hope you have a great rest of your day and that your life is full of flowers.